Good morning, everyone. So happy you tuned in today. Welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Dr. Linzi, and I am a naturopathic doctor right here in Iron River. And I specialize in helping people restore their health and revitalize their life. And always our little disclaimer, anything we discuss is for the purpose of general health support, not intended to treat or cure disease or anything like that. We're just here to talk about overall physiology and optimizing our health. Always make sure you consult with your own primary care before making any health changes, right? We know that. So last week we talked about things that I refuse to do as a woman who hit 40 to stay lean and avoid the hormone craziness, right? And I know many people who tuned in, we talked about how the information isn't the problem, right? We live in information overload, but most people already know what they should be doing. Things like drinking more water, eat more protein, they should go to bed earlier, move their body. They know these things. So the challenge isn't the knowledge, it's the implementation. So I talked about a few key things that make that successful. So be sure you can hop on YouTube at Dr. Linzi ND to check out that recording if you missed it. Definitely worth it. And then today I wanted to talk about something that has completely changed how I view success, health, weight loss, habits, and honestly, looking at life in general. And you guys, it's this. The most disciplined people are not fighting harder battles, for example. They're not fighting harder battles than anyone else, the people who are so disciplined. They are simply fighting fewer battles. And so I want you to think about that for a minute because I've been reading a lot about discipline. And I just feel like sometimes motivation, discipline is something that I can sometimes struggle with because I base things off of my emotions and how I'm feeling. And if I'm not feeling it, I don't do the things. And then I feel like, gosh, I have a discipline problem or a motivation problem. But and I just have found in digging into this a little bit that that's not the case. And most people believe that discipline is waking up every day and forcing yourself to make all these right choices over and over and over again. And sometimes it can feel like that. And then if you're like me and you are a bit of an emotional human being, or you base things off of your emotions or how you're feeling, then you're never doing the things or doing them for a while and then stopping them. But what I'm learning personally and what I keep seeing clinically over and over is that people who are most successful long term have created systems that make the right choices the easiest choices. So I want to explain this to you guys. So they've removed the daily struggle, right? They removed the constant negotiation. You guys know that. Oh, should I do this or shouldn't do that? Or, oh, I probably shouldn't be doing this thing. And we're having this constant negotiation with ourselves. So they removed that decision fatigue. And this changes everything, you guys. So what do I mean when I say decision fatigue? I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. Every day we make thousands of decisions, right? What should I eat? Should I exercise? Should I go to bed now? Should I be opening my phone and scrolling on social media? Should I have another drink? Should I order that takeout? The more decisions we have to make, the more energy we have to use, right? And eventually our brain gets tired. And when we get tired and we add that to the stress and the overwhelm of life or being emotional, like I mentioned, we'll almost always default to the easiest option. Not always the best option, but the easiest option. And that's why willpower alone rarely works. People often say, oh, I just need to have more willpower. I need to be better with willpower. No, I have had to teach myself, and I teach clients and patients this all the time, other tools that we need to implement so we are not relying on willpower. Because if we rely on willpower, we will eventually fail because we're human. And the definition of willpower is literally energetic determination, which is great when? At the beginning of the day, when we have our most energy and we're ready to go and we've set our intentions. But then what happens at the end of the day, when we've run out of energy, we're a bit exhausted, and it was a crazy day, XYZ, all the things, where does your willpower go? Right out the window, right? So this willpower is a finite resource, but guess what is sustainable and will get us through? The answer is systems, okay? So what I see clinically is that people often come into the office believing that they lack motivation, like I said, or they lack willpower. Oh, I can never see anything through. Or, I always start something, but I never finish. I have a willpower problem. I have a discipline problem. I have a motivation problem. But you guys, most of the time, it's not the willpower. It's not the motivation. It's not the discipline. It's that there is literally no system for what you're trying to do. People are trying to make healthy decisions in an environment that is constantly working against them and setting them up for failure. There's junk food in the pantry. There's alcohol in the refrigerator. The phone is beside your bed. The bedtime isn't consistent. Your breakfast isn't planned. The supplements aren't organized. And then you wonder why you're struggling. So the issue is not that lack of discipline, the motivation, or the willpower. The issue is the lack of systems. And in fact, you guys, this is the exact principle of why I created the total health restoration system that you guys hear me talk about a lot. After years of working with patients, I realized that most people don't need more information. They don't just need to be told what to do. They literally need a system for how to do it. And that's literally why it's called total health restoration system. We have to create a system. Most people already are knowing that they need to be drinking more water. They probably should eat more protein. They should be getting better sleep. They should be moving their body. They need to get on top of that stress and manage it. They need to take care of their health. So the challenge isn't knowledge, and they could probably find 25 million TikToks and reels telling them all the things they need to do. But it's not the implementation, like we talked. It's not the information that's the problem, it's the implementation that we talked about last week. And so that's why I built a system that removes the guesswork, reduces fatigue, the decision fatigue, creates that accountability, provides the clinical guidance, and helps people consistently make the decisions that are going to create the real change. And that is where the difference is, you guys, because we have so much on our plate. People are busier than ever, stressed than ever, and you don't just need to know more things you need to do. You need to have a system in which to do it, because when you start implementing that system and you're doing the actions, they start to become habits, and those habits become a part of who you are. Because this is what I've learned. The transformation isn't about knowing what to do. It's about consistently doing what you know, right? We actually have to consistently do it. And so that total health restoration system provides the structure, the support, the accountability, and the proven framework to get you through that, so that when you get through that, it becomes a part of just who you are and what you do. Not just this program, and definitely not just another diet, nothing like that. You're changing your actions that are becoming your habits because you have a system to do it, and it becomes a part of who you are. And you've created this environment, and you've created these surroundings that are who you want to be and what you want to do. And so you're literally setting yourself up for success. So if you bring the willingness, you bring the effort, you bring the commitment, and if you do that, I can literally tell you with confidence from what I have seen now that 90 days, your life can literally dramatically be different in the best possible ways. And that's really exciting. And it's not because of one magic supplement or one magic protocol or one magic medication or one magic peptide, but because you consistently create the conditions for your health. Your body responds in incredible ways. And that's the power of a system. And I love even pointing out, what the Bible says around this, because some people are like, oh, I shouldn't devote that much time to figuring out my own health. That's selfish. And, I shouldn't put that much effort into me or myself. Well, just looking at with the Bible, the topic has the Bible talks about this a lot, you guys. And this has become very meaningful to me because it literally says in Corinthians 6:19-20 that we are told, do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit? Therefore, honor God with your bodies. Our bodies are temples. We're meant to take care of them. So for me, taking care of my health isn't about vanity. I love that I am aging better and not feeling like old and icky, but that's not vanity. I believe that that's stewardship. Like, God gave me one body, and this is the vessel through which I can serve my family, my patients, my community, and ultimately Him. So when we choose nourishing foods, when we do an awesome skincare routine, when we prioritize our sleep, when we move our bodies, when we create systems that care for our health, we are honoring that gift. So the real secret at age 40 now, after everything I've learned personally and professionally, I believe that success is rarely about just trying harder. So many people are trying so hard. It's really about designing better systems. The healthiest people I know aren't relying on motivation. The strongest marriages I've seen aren't relying on motivation. And the people who manage stress well which I'm working on being one of those people, not there yet, but working towards it. It's not relying on motivation. It's built on routines, habits, boundaries, and systems that support the life that you want to live, the person you want to become, who you have to become in the process to be that healthy person, to be the best version of yourself. And eventually, what starts as a habit becomes your identity, and you become that person. And you stop asking, oh, should I do this? Should I not do that? You simply do the right thing for your health and for your life because it's simply who you are. So today, I want to leave you guys with a question. What is one area of your life where you're relying on willpower when you could create a system instead? So maybe that's meal planning. Maybe that's your hydration situation because you can never get water in and you need a system around how you're going to get your hydration and your electrolytes in. Maybe it's your bedtime. You need a routine and a system for your bedtime so that you can get to bed at a decent hour because you know that rest is going to transform everything. Maybe it's prayer time and that gratitude and those affirmations. Maybe it's exercise. I have to work in this area. I do move my body, but I haven't been super intentional with exercise. And you want to know what? Right now, I don't have a system around my exercise. So even I need to step back, take a look at my movement and create a system so that I can take the decision, oh, what workout am I going to do? Oh, what am I going to do today for movement? Oh, all these questions. And then I get decision fatigue. And then what do? Nothing. So I need a system around what I'm going to do for my physical movement. And we can start small. Create one system because transformation doesn't usually happen from one giant decision, you guys. It happens through small decisions repeatedly that you repeat consistently over time. And that is where the magic happens. Does that make sense? You picking up what I'm putting down over there?
Yeah, actually, I have my own experience. You asked the question, where can you see yourself in this? Well, you said create systems and routines.
Yep.
And I had a buddy, or have a buddy, just lives a few doors down from me. He put a beautiful weight room in his basement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he's a trucker, so he when he was working days where he'd go out and then he'd come back, and he was home every night. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the routine was we're gonna lift weights.
Yeah. And did you do it?
And we did it.
Yes.
And then now he's on the road where he's going like the East Coast, West Coast.
So you lose that.
I lost my system.
Yes.
And now instead of working out 3 times a week, I might, 1, 2, maybe 3. And so
right. You lose that because you had multiple things there though. You had the routine, the system. You also have the accountability and the sense of community. Yeah. All those things create massive success, and you show up and you do it, and then it just becomes a part of what you do, right? Yeah, so we got to find a different routine for you while it can't be how it normally is, right?
Yeah, because you raise a good point too, because he would get home at very varying times, half hour, and then he'd call me and say, yeah, I'm here, or text me, and I said to myself, oh great, I could sit here, flicking through the channels on YouTube, or now I got to go work out. But it was accountability. Otherwise,
and you always felt better, didn't you, after you did it? Yeah, always, right? Isn't that also funny? Like the things that we know will feel so much better. Like almost everybody feels better after they do movement and physical activity. But it's like one of the hardest things to get ourselves to do. But we know we're going to feel better. But we don't. Oh, isn't it? The mind is so powerful. But if we can take out that decision of like, oh, am I going to do it? Well, there are more times than not where we might say, no, not feeling it. Not feeling it. Our emotions get us, our mood gets us. But if we just have our system, then we're not even asking the question. We're not even thinking about it. We're just doing it. And then you add in another layer of accountability and community. And now you're like, okay, I got this. And even with the total health restoration system, we have to do a habit tracker. We do a food log, we do a habit tracker, and movement is on the habit tracker. And sometimes life happens and things get busy, but for the most part, there's a system to it. We have the habits that are going to create success, but then you also have to check it off and submit it. So there's that sense of accountability. And, not like it's a judgment thing, like, oh, you didn't get your movement in or you didn't get your hydration in. It's like, well, I know we're going to have to talk about it if I keep not doing it. So I'm just going to do it so that it's done. I know I'm going to feel better. I can check it off the list, and it creates that system and that accountability, and then the community where we're going to talk about things and how we're doing. And I wanted to create something that you would almost have to try to not have success. Like you would have to try. Like if you just show up and you do the things, like you're going to have success in some way. I wanted it to be like that because so much of what people try to do when they're trying to change their health and they're trying to do better things, they have the best intentions and they want it, but then they can't bridge that gap to actually doing the actions and having it happen. And I feel like I figured it out. Now that I am, 2 rounds in, we started doing the total health restoration system back in January, and everybody just has such success. And so I feel like I kind of cracked the code and figured it out and I've been, up at Upper Peninsula Natural Wellness, my practice for 8 years, and I've helped so many people, and it's been a beautiful experience, but never just so many people at once, in a group, when we're doing the total health restoration and seeing everybody win all at the same time. It's just the coolest thing. And so I just really think I've figured it out, and people are just winning, and it feels so good to see them win, and to know that they are changing their life for the better. And then what's so cool is that transformation is not only in them, you see how it affects their children, their spouse, their families. And that is the ripple effect of when that one person, sometimes it just takes that one person to make the investment, to make the change. And then not we have to word vomit over everybody what we're doing and push what we're doing on everybody, but just naturally your actions and the way you're living and how your health starts to improve, and you start to get that glow and that energy, and you feel good, and your kids see that, and your spouse sees that, and your family sees that, and they're like, oh, maybe I should eat a little better. Oh, maybe I should move my body. Oh, maybe I should get that water in. And you were the one that started that ripple effect for your family. And it can change generations just from that one person making that change and that commitment, which is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's so cool. And just to have, and then to have your, fellow people just supporting you and cheering you on, and sharing wins and struggles. Sometimes people have rough weeks or rough days, and we talk about it. Not everything is unicorn and rainbows, but we work through it, and then you keep going, and once you get momentum on your side, it's you start to feel like anything is possible. And then what's really great too is now I'm having people come in who did it originally, 3 months ago now, and they've maintained the results. So many people are afraid, oh, once I stop having it, everything's going to come back. But because you have that chunk of time to really dial it in, to create the system, and then those habits become a part of who you are, when you finish, it's not like you just, quote, finished the program and now you're done and you go back to your regular life. You're a different person, a better version. You're you, but a better version of yourself. And that sticks with you. So people aren't gaining the weight back. People aren't going back to their old habits because they are a better version of themselves, the version they wanted to be, and they keep making those choices. And that has now been being proven when I check in, because I'll still go in, with clients who did that beta group that we talked about, that first 90 days. And they're like, oh my God, I still feel great. I still maintained all my success and my results. And that's what it's about to me, is yes, being there to support people and see the progress, but then the fact that they're able to maintain it because this has become a part of their lifestyle. That's what I want for people. You know what I mean? Because also doctor in Latin is docere. It means teacher.
Oh.
So literally the word doctor means teacher. It's the doctor's job to teach you how to be well, how to maintain that health, how to have health in your life. And so that's where I feel like I'm actually doing my title, to teach. I've taught those people how to be well, and they're doing it. And that's really, really rewarding and really cool. And also I love it because they feel like their investment was absolutely worth it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You have these theories, and then you have these patients.
Yep.
And you tweak it. You got to tweak to a certain point where, it's going to work for a variety of type of people, and
because it's hard when there is the individuality there where we do have to adapt to the individual component. But if you can create an overall system that's going to help like 99.9% of people who are going to do it, as long as they bring the willingness, bring the open mind, bring the effort, bring the commitment, they have to bring that.
Yep.
But then here's the system and they implement it, boom, it's like pretty dialed in and pretty awesome.
And the light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
I can actually lose.
And then they start feeling better and their body's responding and they're like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And I'm like, yes, you can. It's pretty fun.
Uplifting.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's super encouraging. So I want to thank everybody for joining today on Wellness Wednesday. I hope you have a wonderful and healthy week. And always, you guys, if you want any information about total health restoration or anything like that, you can, and if you feel the system part is what's missing from your progress and seeing success in your health journey, you guys can reach out to the office, 906-829-0500. You can call or text. You can also send a message on Facebook. Facebook, Linzi Say Larson. So that's Linzi, and then Say, Saigh, Larson, Larsen. You can find me on Facebook, and you can also message me on there. We can get you taken care of. And so I just hope that today's episode encouraged you to explore new ways to support your healing and helped remind you that healing is possible. And I always encourage you guys every week to make creating the conditions for health a priority in your life and to keep supporting that incredible body of yours and reminding you that true health starts with awareness, truth, you got to be honest with yourself where you're at, consistency, and then having those conditions for your body to thrive, which includes the systems. And so trust your body, trust nature, and trust the incredible wisdom that God has already built into your body. We just got to create those conditions and those systems to allow that innate ability to heal to take place. So again, you can call or text 906-829-0500. You can email info@drlinzi.com. That's info@drlinzi.com. Also, my website, drlinzi.com, and then, of course, Facebook, Linzi Say Larson. And you guys, I try to post every day and engage with everyone, so you can always hop on there to connect.
All right, Doc.